Come in.
Hello there. I'm Kyoya Sadamoto, CEO of Image Interactive. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. I'm Masaharu Kaito, an investigator here.
I'm Higashi, just a part-timer.
It really is great to meet you, Kaito-san. I've heard so much about you.
Good things, I hope?
Of course. You're a legend in these parts, aren't you?
Not so sure about that. Oh, but first, please, take a seat.
Enjoy.
Ah, why thank you.
Well then, shall we get down to business? I understand you're looking for someone. May I ask who?
That would be my wife. My deceased wife, actually.
Your deceased wife. Can you give me some more details? I was under the impression she went missing.
Well, I lost her about 2 years ago. She took her own life.
I see. I'm very sorry. Let me rephrase then. You want us to find her, even though you know she passed away?
Yes, well... Why don't I start from the time she died? 2 years ago, my wife left a suicide note at home one day and disappeared. As you can imagine, I went right to the police. But upon finding nothing, she was declared a missing person. 6 months later, they recovered a body, possibly my wife's, on a riverbed in the mountains of Chiba. There's a large waterfall nearby, from which she likely jumped. Her body was decomposed beyond recognition, but authorities later identified her based on something she was carrying.
And what was that?
A photograph. In it was her and our son.
I see. But was that really enough to ID her? Wouldn't they have done some sort of analysis?
Yes. I requested a DNA test be performed. Lo and behold, my wife was a near-perfect match.
Then, at that point, her death was all but certain. Yet, you still believe she's alive?
About a month ago, my wife's friend said she saw someone in Kamurocho that looked like her. This woman, according to my wife's friend, was with some unfamiliar man. And when the friend called out her name, she froze. Then she immediately fled.
Is it possible this was all just a coincidence?
Believe me, I'd considered that. The DNA test had more or less cemented her death in my mind. But then I started doing my own research, and I found that DNA test results aren't always set in stone. Especially in cases where the body's in an advanced state of decomposition, the results can vary widely. I even came across an astonishing article in which someone's lost relative showed up after a DNA test said they died. After reading that, who wouldn't have hoped that their dear wife is still somewhere out there? Mind you, this woman was the spitting image of my wife. Her voice was a perfect match too. And this is coming from a friend who's known her for years. As she herself put it, there's no way it wasn't her.
If I could inquire about the compensation. My contacted tender quoted $2 million in advance, plus another $20 million upon completion.
Yes. Regardless of the outcome, I intend to have at least that much prepared.
When you say at least that much, you mean...
If you manage to find my wife safe and sound, I'll throw in another 10 million.
So, a grand total of 32 million?
Hey, Aniki. Just checking. I'm being paid 50,000 today, right?
Yeah, 50,000 for serving some damn tea. Got a problem?
Oh no, it's fine. Now I see where all that generosity is coming from.
By the way, may we request any photos of your wife you may have? Sir?
I've actually approached other detectives about this, but none of them could turn up any leads. Then I heard you were working as a detective, in Kamurocho no less. Immediately I thought to myself, if anyone can find my wife, it's him. Considering how well acquainted you are.
Huh? You saying I know her?
Aniki, isn't that...
Mikiko?
Yes. Mikiko Natsume was her maiden name. I understand you used to live together long ago. And that sums up why I'm here. Because of how intimately you know her. Believe me, I understand how bizarre this request might be. But I know you can get to the bottom of it. You lived with Mikiko in this very town. You knew her better than anyone. Kaito-san, I'm begging you. Won't you bring her back?
I'd heard rumors, but I never thought they'd be true. Sadamoto-san, are you sure Mikiko took her own life?
I mean, she did leave a suicide note.
Why, though? The Mikiko I knew would never do that, no matter what the reason.
Honestly, I wish I knew. The note was sparse on details.
The hell does that mean? Aren't you supposed to be her husband?
For what my memory's worth, Mikiko seemed to have some anxieties about her job. And I was so busy with my own work at the time, I failed to give her support. I was hardly even home half the time. It was only when she left me that I realized how poorly I treated her.
So, let's say Mikiko is alive. Then what? It's gonna be one big happy reunion?
I don't really have an answer for that. I doubt she'd even want to look at me. But then again, we do have our son to consider. He's 14 already. His name's June.
So, Mikiko's got a kid and everything.
Yes. And he's just as rambunctious as his mother. He took off once he heard she might be alive. Even though I specifically told him to stay put. The moment my back was turned, he was gone.
Wait, he ran away?
He did. About 2 weeks ago. I thought he might pull something like this, so I set up location tracking on his phone. But, being that he left his phone in his room, he must have figured that out. Outsmarted by a teenager, I swear.
2 weeks? On his own at his age? At 14, he's what? In middle school?
Jun pulls this kind of stunt all the time. He hangs out with these delinquents, often couch surfing for days at a time. Of course, I want to talk. Since most days, I missed the last train. And since I'm at a hotel, I won't even be home to notice he's gone.
Well, how about that?
Look, that's all beside the point. Right now, I need your help.
Hate to break it to you, Sadamoto-san, but I don't think I'm your guy.
What? May I ask how come?
I just don't think I'm cut out for it, is all.
Come now.
That's final.
Fine. Fine. I know when a mind's made up. What a shame that is.
After resolving a local incident, Kaito is approached by Kyoya Sadamoto, who asks him to search for his late wife Mikiko.
You get it now, Jun? Knives were made to hurt. A person can die if they're not careful around them. I don't want you touching these ever again. Understand? Jun! And Kaito-san? What is this? Ah, crap.
Oh, don't worry. We can explain. But, what brings you here, of all places?
Well, one of my police contacts got in touch. Said a boy here matched Jun's description. Well, Jun, what do you have to say for yourself? After you go wandering off for days on end?
Yeah, like you even give a shit! Just go back home by yourself!
Jun, can we just... Never mind.
Actually, you and I might want to have a talk, Sadamoto-san. It's about Jun and Mikiko.
What's going on with Mikiko?
Well, I'll just put it out there. Turns out your wife's still alive.
She's alive? My Mikiko? Where is she? Is she alright?
All right's not exactly how I put it. It's pretty complicated to explain.
Complicated? To think all that was happening. And Mikiko, possibly a murderer?
I know she's out for some kind of revenge. She's aware it was really Crimson Lotus who burned her family alive.
I see. That's very difficult to process. We had always believed it was Maho-chan's stalker that did it. Yet now some sinister group emerges. Kaito-san, does Mikiko really believe Crimson Lotus orchestrated this stalker story or whatever?
That's what she said. It's likely the stalker got pinned as a scapegoat for the whole thing. Now, can you give me anything on your end? How's Crimson Lotus fit into all this? Nothing's making any sense so far.
It couldn't be.
What? What's wrong?
To tell you the truth, this may have been set into motion even before the arson. You see, Mikiko's family had been under pressure from a certain real estate broker to unload their property. As I recall, that broker was flush with foreign capital and seeking land for a sizable new complex. Mikiko's parents stood to profit quite substantially, were they to take the offer. But I was told they rejected whatever came their way. This went on for quite some time, and then the tragedy happened.
Got it. So Crimson Lotus really was behind it all. Mikiko's parents had to die? Because of some land deal?
Yes. Although a group like that may have planned to kill them all along. Anyhow, once Mikiko's family was gone, their land was inherited by a distant relative. And since they wanted nothing to do with any stigmatized property, they sold it to the broker in the end.
So maybe Mikiko got too close to the truth, and it nearly killed her. Yeah, that ought to explain it.
If that is the case, then Mikiko's in the right. If I knew who killed my family, why, I'd hunt them down myself. Taking lives of innocent people, all for profit. What monsters!
Sadamoto-san, there's something else I've been meaning to ask you. It's about June's biological dad.
I know. He thinks you're his real dad, right? Or at least, he hopes you are.
How'd you know?
Well, June and I got into an argument once. And he said as much to me at the time.
Sorry to hear that.
Well, make no mistake. June is definitely my son.
Yeah, I believe you.
Deep down, I'm sure June understands that as well. This fantasy he spun up to feel better? Symptoms of a typical teenager.
You sure he knows what's what?
I am. This is nothing but a phase he's going through. I think it was right around elementary school when it started. He began stealing away Mikiko's diary, reading it over and over in secret. And you, the Yakuza with a heart of gold, were his favorite character.
Right. June told me that himself.
It's because I let work take priority. Even when June was little, I never spent the time with him I should have. And whenever the stress from work got to my head, well, let's just say I reacted poorly, even to a child seeking daddy's attention. So I fully understand why he latched on to Mikiko's writings. It's nothing I'm surprised or jealous about. The boy needs an actual father figure. That said, I hope you'll forgive me for letting him believe what he wants, at least for now. Of course, it's pathetic for me to be saying that. Shoot, it's from one of the board members.
I don't mind going after your son, Sadamoto-san. And when I find him, I'll send him on home. But you're gonna need to set him straight.
Excuse me. Yes, this is Sadamoto. Right. Thank you for your help with that contract. Send me an invoice for your expenses. I'll cover them. Yes, that sounds excellent. Although there's one small issue.
You see that shit?
Kyoya Sadamoto? You're saying he's the one killing the founders of Crimson Lotus?
Yep, you got it. And Mikiko-san has the same idea.
Stay back! Come near and I shoot!
Come now, Mikiko. You would really shoot your husband?
That's the only reason I'm here.
Very well. Then perhaps let's settle down and talk this through.
Talk? What is there to talk about?
Well, try putting this all into perspective. Are you sure you want to kill me? Can you kill me?
Oh, I've got an answer to that.
But what about our son? What would June think? Would he condone his mother's actions as a killer? Have you even considered the thought? Of course you have. Compassion comes naturally to you, and guilt's enough to freeze you in your tracks. After all, that's what gives this woman her charm. Wouldn't you agree, Kaito-san?
Sinister fuck.
Unfortunately, nice people don't make money. Business opportunities are all around us. Most fail to seize them, let alone comprehend they're there. Why? It's simple. They're inefficient at drawing wealth to themselves quickly and competently. Instead, they sate themselves on worldly affairs and superficial relationships. They're worthless.
So, you cut down your old pals and burned her family alive. They meant nothing to you.
Precisely! You catch on quick. I like your potential. Now I'll admit the Natsume family ordeal was a risky choice. But the results really spoke for themselves. It was a brilliant idea, if I do say so myself.
You human bastard!
Kyoya! You think you'll get away with killing my parents? My sister? You're dying right here, right now!
How curious. You actually seem like you mean it. Well, at least you came prepared. Glad I took the steps to confirm that.
Damn it! Let me go!
June!
A tad late, Kenmochi.
My bad, Kyo-chan.
Damn you, Sadamoto!
Settle down. You move and June dies. Understand? Can't move, can you? He takes after me, that's for sure. Never know when he'll catch his old man off guard. Seems I was right to discipline him the way I did.
Asshole! That's your own son right there!
Now then, Mikiko. The real party's about to begin.
What?
First, let's dispose of any unnecessary baggage. Shoot Kaito, and I will release June.
You still think Mikiko was the one taking down Crimson Lotus?
Course I do. The hell you talking to me for?
Because there's something you might want to know. Each time Mikiko went to take out your buddies, someone else had gone and done him in first. They were dead by the time she got there.
Get out of here!
With her memories back, and a plan to kill Crimson Lotus, Mikiko became a huge threat. Enough to scare the killer into action. And by killing his old pals, he could erase his dark ties and pin the crime on Mikiko in one fell swoop.
The fuck are you yapping on about?
Still don't get it? It's the guy standing next to you. Your legendary guru is a traitor.
What?
I hear Sadamoto's been making the rounds on the media lately. Earned himself a reputation as a CEO in demand. It's why he can't afford having his connections to you guys surface. Had that happened, you probably would have gone after him yourself, Kenmochi. Let me guess. Sadamoto gave the order. Told you nobody'd get hurt.
So what? What are you getting at?
Your guru made it loud and clear before you showed up. He said the Natsume family ordeal was a risky choice, but the results really spoke for themselves. He knew Maho-chan and her parents were home that night, and he still had you burn the place down.
No.
Since you guys were just after the property, you had no reason to burn anyone to death. Even a hardened criminal might flinch at such an order.
Bullshit. He's lying. Right, Kyo-chan?
You've hit quite the sore spot.
Sadamoto, you only had me find Mikiko, so you could get to her before Crimson Lotus. And when I found her, you planned to lock her up and wipe out Crimson Lotus yourself. Then you the perfect time to finish her off. And make it look like suicide. Sound about right?
I knew I liked your potential.
Kyo-chan, what's this guy saying? It's all lies, right?
The night of the arson was Maho-chan's birthday. The Natsumes and Maho-chan were big on wine, so I sent them a vintage Bordeaux to celebrate. After all, what's $1,000,000 between friends?
Kyo-chan!
Meanwhile, I was enjoying dinner at a restaurant with my lovely wife. From there, I gave Maho-chan a call and wished her a happy birthday. She told me the wine was delicious. Even the Natsumes, who were notorious wine snobs, enjoyed it. I was worried my secret ingredient, sleeping pills, had altered the taste. But to my relief, it all turned out fine in the end.
What?
If it's any consolation, the Natsumes were dead asleep. I'm sure they went out painlessly.
Kyoya! How could you?
Hey, Kyo-chan! This is just one of your jokes, right?
Should be any moment now. Delayed, I suppose.
What the...
That's more like it. Finally, the stuff started kicking in. Big relief.
Shit-chan! This is bad! The whole party's... Oh no!
It appears to be taking a bit longer than I'd have liked.
Okay, Sadamoto, tell me. What the hell did you do?
Well, I imagine this will go down as one of the deadliest dinners in history. Would you like to see? Aren't I thoughtful? Excellent! I've just killed the final 4 members! A resounding success!
You piece of shit! You poisoned their drinks?
Yes, I used the slow-acting stuff. A quicker poison wouldn't do for taking out a large group at once. Anyone who gets a drink later on would find out it's poisoned and refuse to touch it. Even so, I was starting to worry I'd miscalculated, since the effects took so long to show. Terribly sorry, Kenmochi. I'll hold a grand funeral for you, so try to rest in peace, okay?
You even targeted innocent people!
I wouldn't say I targeted them. There was a designated table for everyone in Crimson Lotus. I can't help it if some non-members stop by for a drink. So at that point, I would say it's on them. Besides, wouldn't it make more sense for a vengeful, hate-fueled killer to pile on a few extra casualties? The public is much more liable to eat up a dramatic story after all.
You're out of your goddamn mind!
And now, Mikiko, the curtain rises on you. The time has come to kill Kaito. Do it, and I'll spare you and the boy.
Why in the hell would I listen to you?
Ah, right. Perhaps this scenario merits a bit of explanation. As for tonight, I'm technically not supposed to be here. Well, I was supposed to make a surprise appearance, but only a few people know. Anyway, I left your hair and fingerprints in the kitchen, where the poison was prepared. And on the rooftop, your ex-lover's bullet-riddled corpse will be found. That'd be you, Kaito-san. On top of that, I've arranged it so a news leak will soon reveal Crimson Lotus as the masterminds behind the Natsume arson. As the story goes, you took the lives of each one out of vengeance. This party was held to clean up any stragglers. And when your old boyfriend caught wind of the whole affair, you gunned him down too. That is what the cops and the media will learn. It was you all along, my dear. But I won't just leave you to dry. Kill Kaito and I'll throw in 100 million yen. You could use that to flee overseas with June and live a comfortable life. Though, I imagine that wouldn't appeal to you. How could you murder an innocent man? So, once Kaito's dead on the ground, I suggest you kill yourself as well.
The hell?
If you go through with it, I'll even add another 100 million for June. At least I'm offering child support, more than a lot of fathers do. Now hurry up and shoot him! You were itching to kill someone, weren't you? Take too long and June will be the one to die.
Well, this changes things. Your little storyline just took a twist.
What are you playing at?
How about I rewrite this scenario? A dirtbag husband commits mass murder, then gets caught and tries to pin it on his wife. So a Yakuza steps in and puts him down. I go to jail and it's happily ever after. Just stay out of this. You can't get blood on your hands. June needs you in his life. Can't imagine I'll miss at this range. June! Yeah! Now it's time to... Bastard. How many knives can one guy have?
Oh, goodness. And just when I thought I had you.
June, Mikiko, you two go.
I'd love to play some more, but time is running short. I'll have you bleeding out by the time the cops arrive.
Mom?
Wait.
Everything was a lie. Everything you've ever said to me was bullshit. Our marriage was bullshit. I guess you got what you wanted. To think I lived under the same roof with the monster who killed my family. My only sister. How does it feel right now? You calculate this too? Goddamn coward!
Miki, go. Don't do it.
I should have ended this.
Watch.
everything. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. God damn you. It's all your fault! Why, huh? Why'd you do it, Kyo-chan? Why?